What is going on, YouTube family? It is the Washingtons hitting you guys with another video. You guys saw it in the title. We met on Instagram, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about social media, the pros and cons of it. It is definitely one of the most controversial topics that we can really think of. So, babe, obviously social media has had its good times and its bad times, but obviously the biggest one for us is us meeting. We would have never did that if it wasn't for social media, unless, you know, I was on a business trip or you were visiting some type of family or something like that. More than 17 plus hours away, we were kind of mended by a social media network. So that's definitely one of our biggest pros. So kind of go into that, babe, before we kind of go overarching into social media and all that good stuff. Talk about kind of us meeting on Instagram and how that really took place, or what does social media as a whole kind of present us as an opportunity, such as us meeting, you know? Does that make sense? Like, there's eHarmony, like there's a bunch of different dating sites. I know it's so we have so much time to talk. Like, but like you have eHarmony, you have all these other social dating sites, and like Instagram really was that for us. Like, we didn't treat it as a dating site, but at the same time, you treated it kind of like a dating site. Yeah. So we'll kind of go in a little bit more depth about that type of stuff. But for our relationship, though, kind of talk through that. Because, I mean, the uses of hashtag searches.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. I hashtagged and I found my man of God over here. I think I did. I think I looked at like hashtag man of God or godly man or something like that. And dude kept popping up on like all the hashtags, or he used that hashtag all the time. And he like was down the explore page, like, so like, let me check this guy out. So I did, and you know, DM, that's a common word, right? I DM'd him and added him, and you know, started networking in a sense, I guess. But that's what social media is good for. It's networking, not just with people that you might be interested in, but family, friends. You know, I've met a lot of my good friends over social media. Yeah,
it's such an interesting thing, because when you think about it, I was not thinking that I was gonna meet my wife through hashtagging man of God on all of my photos.
That was not your motivation.
No. But growing, like, the following, you know, because of business and things like that, you know, kind of working social media on that side, right? Great for business, and it brought me my wife. That's super interesting. But again, like, through the uses of hashtags and things like that, she's able to kind of narrow it down to what she was desiring, right? She knew that, hey, number one in my life, I want a man of God.
He for sure has to be a man of God.
Right? So she used that hashtag. I'm not trying to give you guys ideas, but I'm trying to give you guys ideas. I don't know, maybe it'll work for you. I know somebody else who Instagram was how they met their spouse as well. Heaven and her husband. Yeah. So it's like, it happens all of the time. We readily use social media for so much. It has opened up and it's broadened our horizon to the things that we can accomplish. For sure. Let's talk a little bit about a con then, right? It broadens our horizon to so much, but as it broadens our horizon,
we're exposed
what can it lead to?
A lot of things that we shouldn't be. I know for me, like over the COVID months, I know we bring up COVID a lot, but it's something that our country is going through. And the politics and everything that's happening within the past couple months, a lot of people have wanted to get off social media or have deleted friends or whatever. And so that can be a con, you know, the negativity that your timeline can bring in, or people venting, and it becomes a stumbling block or whatever. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Like, what I pinpointed out of there is like people off of, like, literally, they're not something, it's not that big, right? If someone has a different political view of you, it shouldn't determine your friendship, right? Or if someone likes apples instead of oranges, you shouldn't have to unfriend them, right? Especially if you guys have been friends before, you know, in person. But I think it kind of shows too that, well, we talked about it too, a pro real quick. Oh my gosh.
Woo.
Was
words are hard.
Moment, yeah. was creating deep friendships, right? That we've actually created some really good friends from social media that are translated to in-person relationships and things like that. But also, you could have those fickle, very surface level relationships that don't go that deep, and people become more expendable, and people feel as though people are expendable because of social media. It's like, well, you're not right there in front of me. There's things that I wouldn't say to you in person, or there's not a way that I would act towards you in person. But since it's a screen and we're really at distance, it's really easy to do. And I would say
hurtful things.
But so that's the thing too, is that I think that social media has grew so fast. It's grown so fast that even us as believers and other people as believers, or what they believe, their morals and things like that, have had a tough time translating from real life to social media. Like, I think that's something that still needs to happen too. It's just like, hey, the way that you would treat someone in person, you still need to reflect on that. Whether you're online or you're in person, those things still matter. The things that you say, the way that you view people, all of those things should be the same. It's just giving us a tool to reach more people and to further those relationships. But your attitude, your actions, your character, I don't think should change, and that's one of the cons.
I would say a con kind of, and people don't see it as a con, but I know this is something that I struggle with, looking at other influencers or things like that seem to have this perfect life, and it might seem like a very positive thing because it's like, oh, they're bringing happiness and, you know, their life beautiful and they're a beautiful family, but in reality, their life is causing you to stumble and lust after. So you gotta be careful for that as well. It could look glamorous, but where's your heart at, within that? So unfollowing is not a bad thing.
No. Like, people are causing you to stumble and things like that. That's a great point. And that's probably social media. Another con that social media might have is causing people to go into depression and have different mental illnesses from social media itself, just because of the people that they are following. I think some of the people that they're following, that they think are perfect, end up actually truly having the mental issues and depression and things that they don't see on the outside. Those people that are very materialistic or have all of this gain that's trying to persuade you to live a certain life or to follow after them, and basically die for these different regimes, or that type of house, that type of car, and things like that. Everyone's eyes are just like glued to that type of stuff. You see a Lamborghini go down the street and you're just like, oh,
right,
like,
that house,
how do I get one of those?
That kitchen is gorgeous. Like, you need a bigger house.
She's beautiful. What is she wearing? Look at her jewelry. Look at all of these things, all of these flamboyant things. But if you were to really peek behind the lenses at their house and how they live in their private life, you would realize that they're probably just as unhappy or
have
more
different struggles.
or have different struggles. Like there's a give and take. Again, everyone's human. So I think we have to make sure, just like in our last video, we take care of one another. For sure, we want to be real with you guys and know that, hey, life brings struggles. How do we overcome those struggles, and how do we continue to grow, and how are we living healthy, right? So I would say depression has definitely increased due to social media, because people can put on their pretend life and then they have their real life that they're living. But since it's on social media, people don't really get to see that unless you're really close with them. So that's one thing that we kind of want to turn off the blinders on. We want to be kind of real and raw on our channel and on our social medias and stuff. We don't want it to be like, oh, look at this glamorous life, and they travel all the time, and they stay at home, and they do all of this other stuff, and it's like, nah, it's actually work.
We want to bring a healthy mix.
Yeah, we still change diapers.
We still have struggles. We still deal with difficult things, but at the same time, we're very blessed.
Absolutely.
So there's things to share as well that God has done. So.
God is always good. No, not in a boastful way, because we couldn't do it within ourselves, but it's Him alone. So we enjoy speaking about those things. But I would say that's a con, is kind of bringing on that depressive attitudes based off of what people are posting and what's influencing others.
You can even narrow your list down to 10 friends that are very positive if you want. If that is how you stay on social media and that's what you got to do to stay healthy mentally, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah, but that's
social media itself, I wouldn't say is bad. It's what you allow on your timeline and into your.
I think that's even at odds, is everyone feeling as though they have to have 100,000 followers because everyone else has that. You know, even that's one of the negative drives with social media. Like she said, you could have 10 friends, like just like in real life, you keep your circle small, right? There's only a certain people that you keep in your circle of trust. That might be your social media, literally your circle of trust, and maybe some other influencers that you don't know personally, that you would like to get to know at a deeper level, or that you would like to follow their content because it's motivating, or you know, it's helped building your faith, things like that. That's the positive side, right, to that. So the positive side of influence is something that is leading you out of that depressive mindset, that's leading you towards Christ and towards a healthier lifestyle, that's giving you tips and tricks that's better suit for life. You know, YouTube is an awesome tool. You know, it's the second largest search engine in the world behind Google, and people use it for tips and tricks all of the time.
Google owns YouTube.
Yeah, but it's like, so it's like, it's crazy to me because it's just like, hey, if I want to go out there and I want to build a fence, well, how do I know about materials and things like that? People are creating YouTube videos every single day about things like that. Yeah, so there's so many different tutorials and how-tos and things like that, and we're able to influence one another and help each other throughout life. In ways that normally in person you wouldn't have. Maybe a family, you know, ends up popping a tire or something like that, and they've never had to change a tire before, and no one's really pulling over on the side of the road because
and they don't have the funds to maybe call somebody, so they gotta put their spare on themselves. Like,
and it's like, oh, let me pop out, you know, and they're showing you how to put on a spare, and you know, until somebody can come and help you or something like that. I mean, so there's so many awesome benefits when you think about the spiritual, the physical, you know, the flesh, all of those things, that they have good benefit from social media as well. We just have to make sure that we manage that. We're still responsible too. I think that's one of the biggest things with social media too, is you're still held responsible for your own life. Just like you have to be responsible in real life for yourself, decisions that you make and things like that. Don't feel as though on social media now you don't have the responsibility, or it's someone else's fault that you were viewing X, Y, and Z, or that you struggled with X, Y, and Z. Like, you have the opportunity to kind of delegate and maneuver what you want your social media to look like. So that's definitely a pro.
No, and that's what I was going to mention as well.
What?
I mean, we have the ability to follow, to, you know, view certain things, who's on our network, you know, the type of people that we're influenced by, and so really it comes down to you. If you're not liking social media, it's probably something in your feed, and I think a lot of people kind of steer away from, or they just want to get rid of it because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so they just get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hurt the people that are saying like negative stuff, so they just get rid of all the positive too. But I mean, Facebook has the unfollow button. Those people don't know that you don't follow them anymore. You know, you don't necessarily have to unfriend people, or maybe you do, and that's something you have to decide. But you know, that person posting that stuff, they're accountable for what they're posting, and you're accountable for what you fill your mind with. So but again, like I said, make sure that a lot of the social media relationships that you're having, treat them like they're real relationships. So I mean, if you really have a friend and you guys are at odds about something, well, word says you guys need to go and work that out, you know, one to another. So therefore, on social media, you guys can't be petty because you're at a distance and say, well, I'm not going to work it out with you, I'm just going to unfollow you. Yeah. You know, it's like, wait, so you're just going to jump ship on a relationship because of a disagreement? Like, you guys aren't going to even attempt to love? Like, that's not what God's called us to do. And sometimes, like I said, what we would attempt to do in person, we don't attempt to do online, which leads to unhealthy relationships as well. Or, like I said, doing a little too much online, knowing that you wouldn't do that in person. You know, because you feel as though it's secret, it's behind a screen. So definitely watch those things. But like we said too, as far as like our relationship on social media and things like that, I mean, it helps. I mean, think about jobs. Think about jobs, right? Or even the NCAA, different athletes, different sports and stuff like that. A lot of the kids that are coming up, because, you know, we work with kids and stuff, these schools are looking at their social media profiles and stuff to kind of get a gauge on their lives and kind of fill in some of the holes. Obviously, we know that social media is not something that is going to
fill all of the necessary holes of a person's personality or who they truly are in a complete sense. So therefore, just know that doesn't make it negative. Just know that when you view someone on social media, you're not going to get a whole understanding of their entire life. There's still going to be holes in it, but it kind of gives you a good jump start, just like a resume. It's an active resume that you can go and you can view someone, you can learn more about them, and even see if you guys have common interests or someone that you're attracted to, if it's relationally. And attraction doesn't just happen through someone that's looking for marital status, but even a friendship, things like that. Other believers, you might lack other believers in your life as a Christian. Great. Start hashtagging Christians and stuff. You can create relationships. It's great to create them in person too, but we're not always going to have those. So, I mean, think about it. It's not totally negative to have online relationships. Pen pals were huge. Who never had a pen pal, where you were writing letters back and forth to people and they get really close relationships. I mean, back in the day, there were really close relationships. So think about social media as, active pen pals with, digital resources and actual lenses to where you can see each other. It's not really a bad thing.
Definitely.
Any other pro and con that you want to bring up?
Yeah, I would say one other big pro would be business. We use it for business.
Yeah, we're using it right now.
We work from home.
Yeah.
So it's great for that. We use LinkedIn for building, business related, business relationships and networking with different business owners. So I mean, LinkedIn is social media.
Yeah.
But it's more business focused, but it's a great.
And I would say, just to piggyback off of that, business affects family, right? So when it comes to family living and having flexibility to have those friendships and those relationships on a deeper level, I mean, a lot of us, everyone's kind of skewing for the American dream at a large number, right? And a large scale. So most people are really not, the world today, no one's really working a 9 to 5. People are normally working 12 plus hours a day outside of your 1%ers, that have already made it over the hump. So people are working literally all day. We work a lot, guys. We work a lot. And so do you. Like you guys work hard. Like people, like you for real are a hard worker between your social life and your real work, your 9 to 5s and things like that. Like you work so much. So to have a platform that allows us to be a little bit more flexible, I'm literally sitting next to my wife during nap time, on a Tuesday.
Working.
Like that's not that's not something that's normal. And so I just want to take the time out to thank God for that. Like that's a blessing that there is a tool to where I can actually see my family, because I know a lot of people that, they travel for work and things like that and they're away from their family a lot, so
weeks at a time.
Yeah. So and they work it out. Every relationship is different. Every family dynamic is different. Definitely. I know we do better actually together, honestly. Not every single family or every single couple does well being at home together for large sums of time.
Man works 9 to 5, wife is at home, stay-at-home mom. Like that. That's not for us. And so that's for a lot. That works great for a lot of other people. But social media, in that sense, has been a huge blessing for us. For the way our family operates best. Yeah,
for our dynamic, and that doesn't mean that we still don't need breaks from each other. But it's easy to take like an hour break from someone.
Yeah.
And some people are just like, no, I need a 9 to 5 because like I can't stand that woman or I can't stand that man. And it's not that way for us, and it gives us an opportunity to grow our relationships appropriately and obviously take the time to influence other people and bring you guys, continuously better content each and every time. So anything else?
I mean, we can always do a part 2.
But yeah, just think about that. Think about what social media can bring. It's brought this interaction right here to life that probably wouldn't have come about, or like I said, it would have to be some extreme occurrences, with us being, halfway
in the
around the United States.
Like 0.
Yeah, they're pretty slim.
0.0001%.
So just think about that. Try to think about the goods of things in your life as well. That's one thing that we want to encourage you at the end of this video is we encourage you to focus on the good things. Think about the righteous things. Think about the pure things in your life. There's always something to be grateful for. Thank God for your life. Thank you God for dying on the cross for our sins. We always have to come back to the gospel every single day and know that we're not deserving. We're all sinners. We've all fell short, and without Jesus, we would be nothing. And if you haven't come to that understanding yet, I would say definitely ponder that, open up the Word, and tackle it. So what you got?
Nothing. I was just gonna say, kind of piggybacking off of that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what a great opportunity you have with social media to be a positive influence with all the negative going on. So whether that's spreading the word of God or just saying giving somebody an encouraging word or whatever, like we have the opportunity to do that with social media, and so take advantage of that. Don't waste it.
Yeah, love one another for sure. That's what we're focusing on. That's been the trend on here. Loving one another, encourage one another, also tell each other the truth. So I think we need to get a better job of finding that proper gauge. And but again, social media is great because you're not really off the cuff. You don't have to speak at a super fast pace. Ooh, she's breaking the rules. Phone's going off. But but again, like you have time to respond when it's on social media, so you don't have to be quick to respond. So we should do a lot better with our conversations and our communication through a social media platform than we would, in person, unless you're shooting a video like this or you're going live or something. But But other than that, guys, that sums up our video. Again, we met on Instagram. Social media is not totally flawed. It definitely has its flaws, but there's more human error than there is the actual social media errors. So let's just keep that in mind. Let's be a positive influence for all those. Keep the faith. God is good. And if you guys need anything, let us know. Check all the social media in the link in the description box below. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share our content if you enjoy it. Turn that bell on. We love y'all. Later.